Hello everybody, welcome back to Basics. I'm your host, the Crazy Uncle. Today we're going to be doing our continuing series on cold weather survival. Now if you watched the first one, then you know everything that applies here. If not, go back and I'll put one at the end the video. But we're going to be talking about traveling in the cold. Now in particular, I'm going to be focusing on bugging out because that kind of encompasses a lot of things. Now if you're traveling in the cold, this really applies to you in any shape or form. Now you guys, I got it broken down here. I got vehicle, open vehicle, and on foot. Okay. Now with the vehicle, you already should have started with some sort of vehicle kit. If you don't have a vehicle kit in your car of some sort, in case you get stuck on the side of the road, what can I tell you? All right, you should have a vehicle kit of some sort. Something with a blanket, some with a little bit of chow, a little bit of water, maybe a first aid kit. It doesn't have to be crazy, but you should have a vehicle kit. On top of that, and this is why a lot of the preppers have two kits. They actually swap them out. Or you could do what I do. I have the same kit, but I have additionals that go in there. These are the additional items that you want to have. You want to have an extra hat, a actual winter hat. You want an extra set of winter gloves. Now I actually recommend two sets of gloves here. One small that you can actually have some feeling with, and some actual thick gloves that you can keep from the cold. You also want extra socks. I do recommend, again, some just regular ones so you can put your regular shoes on, and some really thick socks in case you're really stuck out there. Okay, I put down here footwear. Now this has more to do if you know there's going to be snow on the ground. Footwear as far as a good set of winter boots. Alright, that is very, very important that you do so. A good pair of winter boots will actually save you a whole bunch. Especially if you're trying to get from point A to point B, and you know if the vehicle gets stuck, you got to get out there and do something. It's going to suck to do that in a pair of loafers, or for ladies, a pair of heels. So keep that in mind. Okay, I got down here, the last bit is an outer shell. Okay, now I didn't say a winter jacket because it doesn't have to be a winter jacket or a winter coat. By the way, jackets, coats, pretty much the only difference. Outer shell can be, as long as it's waterproof and as long as it's some way protected to hold the heat in, you're good. I personally have a duster, and that thing works wonderfully. It's an oil slick duster, it's waterproof, so I can double as a raincoat. The problem is, if you wear it in the summer, you're going to sweat your ass off. Okay, so a good outer shell, whatever it might be, is going to keep you going. So that's for the vehicle. As you can see, it's real simple. Now, for any open vehicle, this could be something like snowmobile, ATV, horse, whatever you're riding on. First thing you need is going to be some good head and eye protection. Okay, I'm going to emphasize the eye protection portion here, because into winter, you just don't want to go what's called snowblind. There's a lot of snow and it's bright. It's going to come up at your eyes and it's going to cause, well, sunburn of your cornea. Anybody who's had it can tell you it is not fun. And having a little thing of Visine or one of those other drops ain't going to do jack. It literally just has to heal on its own. Granted, those drops will give you a little bit of soothing, but have the correct eye protection. If you're going to be on a machine, you're going to want goggles. Preferably tinted goggles, and a helmet with some sort of cover so you don't get hit directly by the sun. And you also want a set of shaded lenses. Very important. Make sure you have clear ones to swap out at night. Okay, extra gloves. I've already hit on that over here. Extra socks. I brought these up because, especially if you're on a snowmobile, your body's going to be warm, but your hands and feet, unless you got heated grips and heated foot pads, they're going to get cold. And the problem is, your body's going to be warm. It's going to make your hands sweat. You're also going to be tense the whole time. So, again, your hands are going to sweat. Gloves will get wet. It's really nice to swap those out. All right. Also have, here's one a lot of people forget, extra fuel. I used to be part of New York State Search and Rescue. You would be astonished the amount of times we get a call, somebody is out there in God's nowhere, and they're out of gas. It's absolutely amazing. Get one of those little 1 or 2 gallon containers, shove it in one of the pouches on the side of the back, and you're freaking golden. Okay? Most of those, if you get some stabilizer, you're going to leave it on there for a couple of years. It's still good. Just make sure you have extra fuel. And also make sure your fuel gauge ain't busted. Alright. I also have down here, along with extra fuel, with recovery tools. Okay? This needs something like jumper cables, toe strap, extra wrenches if you know how to, say you jump the trek in your snowmobile. You got to be able to, boom, fix it and drive on. Also, learn how to do it. Get somebody to teach you. Okay, now if you plan on being out for longer than a day, you need to bring some sort of overnight kit. This kit is not sparse. Alright, a lot of times, compared to summer moving, compared to winter moving, you're looking at 3 times the size and at minimum twice the weight when it comes to winter. Just because there's so much that you have to swap out on your person and so much you have to set up to protect yourself, because in the summer, let's face it, it's warm, you set up a simple lean-to, you can hide under that, and you're good. You don't have to bring a lot. In the winter, So that's open vehicle or, like I said, horseback. Now on foot's where things get a little interesting, because the thing is, it depends on what type of terrain you're in. Again, snow, no snow, that's going to be the big difference. So, as far as the all aforementioned clothing that I mentioned before, very important. I would actually bring extra of those. You're going to want to look into what's called a Polk. Okay, most of you who've watched the shows, it's that sled people hold behind them. Now there is one guy, he's up in Canada, some sort of prepper. He has this thing called a mono walker. If that thing was adjusted just a little bit, it could be transformed into a Polk so that it could go summer and winter. I hope he's watching this so he actually knows to do that, because I would think that that's $1 million idea right there. All right. And that is to carry things, because you don't want to carry everything on your back, because if you're putting too much pressure on your feet and you're in a snow-covered environment, you're going to sink, and you're going to sink very, very deep, very, very quickly. Say your jokes, but it's not fun. I've had to trudge through snow that was literally waist deep or higher. It is not fun at all. And if you do come across snow like that, you are going to need these other items. Snowshoes. Make sure they're your size for you. Okay, don't go to just some regular store that sells, sporting equipment of all different types and has some friggin' 17-year-old kid behind there who doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Go to an actual shop that they can size you up for the right type of snowshoes. Because some people, they're like, oh, I want the widest ones I got. Well, then you can't walk in them because it's not set up for your body. Or you get ones that are too small and they don't work very well at all. You could also go for cross-country skis. This you have to learn how to do. I will say you don't want to be on a learning curve on either of these, but I can say this. As long as you have the basics of skiing down, cross-country skiing is actually quite simple. If you have the basics of wide stance down as far as walking, you can learn how to snowshoe. It's not that hard. All right, both of those are extremely taxing on the legs though. I mean, they will just burn you the hell up. So, as far as traveling in the cold, now this one here is where most people, if you're not bugging out or whatever, you just need to look in this area here. If you're going to go out snowmobiling or whatever, then you look here. If you're going to go winter camping or whatever, which by the way is really fun, go here. Alright. Alright. For each their own on that. And I do hope I lined everything up. Okay, again, I could go into all this crazy bits about every little thing, exactly what type of hats to get, exactly what type of gloves to get, exactly what type of socks to get, yada, 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 yada. No, this is back to basics, motherfucker. Okay, we're just dealing with the basics here. So I hope this helped everybody out. And hopefully I'll be bringing out the next one, part 3 of this series. This is your crazy uncle. I'm out.